Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spinner Rack, and we also have
Calvin Ellis ready to rock.
now FX and Hulu put out the Aliens Earth, something that we waited for who knows how long. Aliens finally coming to Earth and deciding to cause the mayhem on Earth. And
Yeah.
they also decided to add in not just aliens, but we have eye octopus and mosquito aliens that are blood
Stupid.
blood bags, and we also have besides synthetics, we have cyborgs, and we have new interesting synthetics of your soul and mind and body, your mind and soul sent over into a synthetic. So we have some interesting characters in this series. There's a lot of buzz to this, but at the same time, they don't have a season two yet. So what would seem to be a slam dunk for I don't want to do that. I don't want to get rid of the ads, but the ads are not removing. It's a trick. So right now the they don't know yet. So when I was at Comic Con yesterday, no, I was there on. Sorry, I was there on. When I was there on Thursday, they had an Aliens Earth panel. So we're saying, well, what they're going to show? Is it going to be an idea? Just talk about it. They literally showed the first episode, and Mars, our partner on the show, also he felt that since it didn't have a second season, for anyone who didn't see it at all on Hulu, they got a chance to see it, and maybe this will get buzz to the show, and then make the show um, um, get to the next stage. So first, we got to get to our thoughts on the show. So I'm going to pass it to Cal.
Ah, I like the whole past thing since Mars isn't here, but it's just the two of us. Uh, okay. I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise, Predator. I turn out for all of the films. I've seen the good stuff. I've seen the bad stuff. I've seen Prometheus. So we know that I'm actually there for all of it. I saw the production quality for this in terms of the trailer, and I was like, okay, I'm looking forward to this because at the very least I know that they didn't go cheap on the money. So, the visuals are going to be pretty good. And they are. The overarching problem that I have with this is that everybody's stupid. And yeah, everybody's stupid. I can understand alien aliens, but by the time the alien is on Earth, they know what this thing is. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but every alien that you have encountered in the alien universe, it, it it's it's deadly to people. And these things are always invasive. They want to get in through your ear. They want to come in through your nose. They want to stick something through your chest or like force something down your throat and then bust out of your chest. That's almost every single alien. They want to come and gouge out your eye, play around with your body, and then come over. So there is no alien species that isn't virulent, invasive, and dangerous. And yet they continuously want to bring these things back to Earth. They can't control them. The second thing I have an issue with is there is no containment for these things that is successful. They always somehow bust out of it, or somebody does something and they're able to escape. It makes no sense. Even here on Earth, with our limited primitive technology in comparison, we can put something or someone into a four wall thing and they don't get out. These guys have better technology. Everything escapes. Everything escapes at the end of the day. The people are stupid. They play around with stuff. They know this stuff is no good, and they keep doing it. They have historical logs as to what the xenomorph is capable of, and they keep going after it. If you read the historical logs, it's everything that we've seen in the films. People end up dead. If you're lucky, one person survives. One person. Literally, everybody is Ishmael when they meet the alien. And then even in the series, you see the same thing. And even once they see all the death, they see all of the carnage this thing does. And what do they want to do? They want to somehow contain it. They want to study it. I mean, come on. both of us were in the alien universe, and you saw those big black eggs, and that thing started to open up. You gonna put your head in it? Would you put your head in it?
Well, that's the thing. I would not put my head in it, but the other idea is that the same from Prometheus. You see something slimy opening up, you don't think you're gonna find pearls in it. You know, it's just the idea of, and and at the same time, we don't go approach squirrels. We don't do things in our regular life. We're saying, well, I don't know what it is, so I need to look at it. And I understand if you're 5 years old, and actually we do have some 5 year olds in it, but everybody's doing the same thing. So it's I have to agree on that portion of it. And it kind of falls into the same old stuff that besides being almost a love letter to Alien, in far as what they were doing. Only problem is that the actors, even though they have some similar traits to the original, working out the truckers and like not looking exactly like Yaphet Kotto, but looking like he would be on the same job. They all look like they could be in the same company from there. So that I can say, just not as there's a little more, even though they weren't necessarily stars, because that's what the actress who played um, against Sigourney Weaver said. Um, since we all weren't stars ourselves, we kind of felt it could possibly be a B movie, because even though we were, had some sort of had career going, we weren't necessarily stars at that time. But it kind of, he wanted top talents, but just not necessarily that big a name faces. So the thing is, they got actors that kind of have that feel, and it seems like that's what's working on it. But then it gets into this talky, having a synthetic saying. We've seen two. One that was all about, but no, actually, there's the weird Asian one that gets get killed in the thing. Like, he's real creepy and he's hanging around the girls and whatnot. And it's just like, we have the first synthetic where they didn't know that they put a synthetic on there with them. That's a big surprise. One of the other surprises in the movie. And then we have Bishop, and he turns out to be, part of the team. And then now we have,
Better, he was a better model.
yeah, and then we have Timothy Olyphant. But he, then they almost had him based off of the guy who created the synthetics. Timothy Olyphant is kind of like the, he's the, I don't know, like looking down on humanity synthetic that we always get. And then we got these kids that are just, if you give them power, they don't really, they'll respect this money guy, but they won't respect the mother or the father of them, which would be their doctors. They kind of push them aside for some strange reason, because I guess they can't push around this actor here. But he would be the guy to do that, to be like, you don't got no power. Because that's what kids would do. They would go to someone that looks like he's, you know, just a talker, and just kind of push against what that power is. With their parents, it probably need some time. Unless they don't have them, they had kids that were going through something. So they should be like on the moral lines thankful, but they just get into the bodies, and it's like the X-Men scene with Cyclops. I don't know which one it was. It was the Days of the Future Past with Cyclops. They introduce him, and he's already had this bad moment with his optic blast. So in the comics, he never gets used to his optic blast up until I think Madeline comes along, where he kind of forgets his optic blast. But you have to imagine they're always on, right? So in the movie, he destroys something, and he goes to Charles Xavier, and he put the glasses on him, and he plops down, relaxed, like, hey, now I got these glasses. And like, Cyclops is still thinking the powers they're blasting the ruby quartz, and the ruby quartz are breaking them down. They're not stopping it from blasting. They're still going. They just can't get past the ruby quartz. So that's the crazy part that I don't see when you're in a situation and they just become like, you know, some little, I don't know, you can say superhuman. Actually, the robot didn't. None of them seemed that superhuman. They seemed stronger than human, but now they turned it into, you know, alien. Be able to split the alien like you would, like a chef. Like, I just broke it in half, and then it didn't get any acid on me. Yeah, that's why he did it off screen, so we knew. We knew that we wouldn't be able to see it. But yeah, there's a lot of wacky stuff as far as the casting goes. Um, and then there's kind of the hard part is the elementary storytelling, and I only say that because of some of the early stories that I would do as far as a villain. And then when you get to the story where the villain is trying to understand life and they're like, is this that sort of thing? And you say, whoop, that story has to go. When they saw the girl playing with the alien and make it into a little creature, all it needs is a little love. No, all it needs is bodies to procreate more aliens. It's
It
a
doesn't need that. It needs a flamethrower. It needs to die.
yeah, yeah,
Like that's me. I was like, no, I'd be like the person trying to kill everything. Like, were you kidding me? Did you see that thing in the cat's eye? Kill it.
yes,
You
yes,
gotta be out of your mind. And
yes,
then
yes.
let's dissect the what is that thing? The thing that smothers you and forces the egg down your throat. Let's take that thing. We're gonna kill that. We're gonna dissect it. We're gonna get the embryo out of there, and then let's put it into another alien species and see what happens. It's like this is insane. And supposedly this is the smartest. This dude, what was the line this dude had? Maybe now that I have these guys, I'll have somebody interesting to talk to. I'm like, for the smartest dude, you're an idiot. You
Yes.
can't tell me that this is a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
And you have information to all of this is a story that is past all of the other alien stories. That's one, two, three, Ripley's clone, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, the what was the one that just came out?
Oh, Romulus.
Yeah, Alien Romulus. All of these, because they have records on all of this stuff, all the ship's logs. They have records on all of it. And the best thing that you can do is repeat the same mistake that they keep doing.
Yeah.
I can understand that the ship. I mean, mistake number one, they're trying to get the ship back to Earth. Bring this stuff back to Earth, which is just again just crazy. It's just crazy at the end of the day. Okay, let's get this thing back to you know how quickly this thing can replicate, but let's get it back to Earth anyway because somehow we're going to be different. No problem. The ship crashes. Why does the ship crash? Oh, because the alien got out.
Well, the
The
other
alien
thing.
got out. We can't contain this thing. Okay, so the ship crashes. We know that we got a double agent in the cyborg, yada yada yada, bing bang boom. Now this thing is back on her, and it's just like this thing is just it unfolds again. It's like a cosmic joke. It's ridiculous. Somebody has to be smart enough to say, "Are you kidding me?" At first sight, kill this thing. We know we can kill it. We know it's dangerous, but we also know we can kill it. Just kill it.
Well, I can totally agree. I just the hard part is what you're saying. That I mean, that is thing. They're trying to show you what scientists do while they're dissecting it, but the hard part is
They're
in
stupid.
the first one is that you can't. They showed you can't really dissect it without hitting some acid. It defends itself. They tried to when the face hugger was on it, they tried to cut it, and that's how they found out about the acid. And they're like, "Oh, we keep doing this, we could kill him anyway." And at the con, the guy who plays the brother, I think he had a weird line in there, which is I think it's not really. I shouldn't. I'll say that after the show, but when I was watching this, Aliens, the second one, kind of shows you that there's no usage of the alien. If you're going to try to use it to take out a dictator or something like that, you can't do anything after that. It's basically, you put that there, you try to use it as some sort of I don't know, clearinghouse, then you just got a whole thing of aliens you can't do anything with. And then they just go back into hibernation until more people come and they take it out. So they're the strongest as far as them wanting their DNA to keep going on. That's all they
Well,
care about.
AVP, I thought had the best usage for them, where they were like, "Look, we're just going to use this. We're just going to hunt these things,
Mm-hmm.
and if it gets out of hand, we're going to blow everything up."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was the best usage I saw for them. They keep trying to give them with an origin. How did these things get created? I was like, who knows how the things got created? If they were actually created, is a big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big mistake. We've seen this time and time again. But aside from that is my major criticism with the show. Aside from that, I think it's been entertaining overall.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something. It's not something I wouldn't recommend. If you're a fan of the Aliens franchise, I think you'll enjoy this. My frustration is just at some point, you guys got to get just a little bit smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit smarter when it comes to this. It's just like everybody can't be this dumb until they see the alien. Then all of a sudden, everybody knows how to magically run, leap, jump. I was like, you should have been doing that before.
Well,
And then, no, go ahead.
no, I think that the interesting part of the thing, which was actually in the I think the comic book of Earth Angel when it comes to Earth in the 50s, is that you have it in the future. Then you just have to say we need to contain it to this area. It crashes and the alien gets loose, or a couple of them get loose, and then you have a whole area to contain, and you got a whole bunch of people to kill and to turn into that sort of thing and play out that stuff. They've been trying to play up a little too much philosophical stuff and saying who owns it, who gets to mass produce it, and we know you get you know, there's no actual usage of it, even though they're showing you them pulling stuff. We had people on the ship fail doing that, so they're ultimately going to fail in doing this stuff. And we don't know if the face huggers can work on the on synthetics, or I don't know if they got to that yet. But this is
No,
the
they
problem, huh?
no because on this show they pretty much identified that those eggs only open up if there's some sort of organic life.
Okay, cool.
Because the synthetics were perfectly fine. They could walk around the eggs; they never opened up. But the second a human being came there, it was like I remember when the Timothy Olyphant's character had the genius in there, and when he realized that he like got the guy
Oh
out of the
yeah,
room,
yeah.
yeah, he was like, "Nope, you can't be in here because they're after your type at the end of the day." But I mean, I understand it's like basic horror formula where like, okay, we got Freddy, we got Jason, we know what they're gonna do. And we know people are gonna be stupid. They're gonna put their hand in the hole that they can't see. They're gonna put their head out the window when they hear something, and we know they. So I know there's gonna be that element to it, but for me, it's just really frustrating to watch. Like you guys can't be this dumb. You can't be this dumb. Just kill the thing and run. And
Yeah.
the cyborg showed, hey, it's not, this thing is not like overpowerful. You get the drop on it, you hit it with the electricity, you can bag it and tag it, no problem. So it's not like this is, oh man, this is like this insurmountable. No, you can take care of this thing. But outside of the first two movies, well, first three, after that, it just became the stupidity train. It's like, people are trying to hold it, you know, people trying to use it. It's like, you don't use this thing. You try to, you get it. Alien versus Predator, I loved how that worked because it's like human beings should have an immediate revulsion of this thing when they see what it does. So like this thing goes, wounds you or injures you enough, then takes you back so you can be impregnated with its with its seed, and then you're going to die that way. It's disgusting. You don't want anything to do with this. Kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Kill every single one of those things at the end of the day. And it's got to be bad when a human being is going to come there and link up with something like the Predator. You look at the Predator, you're like, oh no. And then you look at the aliens, like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can see this. It's cool. Let's take this thing out. You got to be kidding me. So but again, aside of that frustration I have with the characterization, the again, production values solid. They didn't go cheap on that. There
Mm-hmm.
is a serviceable storyline here if you're and they are asking some questions that, for me, philosophically, I think are pretty interesting in terms of, identity, consciousness, purpose. That is also played out through here. So you can get there is stuff here to enjoy, and it is enjoyable. It is entertaining, but and I'm making a lot out of it. That part, the stupidity, I mean, it's like dealing with a kid, and you got to tell them like 100 times, turn off the damn light.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times can you come in this room and forget this light? They're like, what is this? A sitcom? Turn off the light.
Well, I think the key part of the first two movies was Ripley was the audience. When the guy gets the thing on his face, and we don't know what it is, what's going on, and they're bringing him in. I'm kind of in agreement. So it was kind of they don't have that character in this. They don't have the characters kind of the one that makes sense, especially in Aliens, where she was like, "No, why would you put a whole land in there?" So, let's hope that it can get to a second season, and people check it out after the con because they have a big push. One I didn't see with Sigourney talking to the aliens, Earth people, but
I heard she's gonna be back.
huh?
I heard she's gonna be back, so it should get a second season,
Yeah. So
or at least they want to bring her back.
yeah. So all right, people. You can chime in and see if you want to. Do you actually want to have more aliens? Or so. We'll talk to you guys later. Spin a rack.
We're out. Stay smart.
All right. Out.